Welcome to the King of Iron Fist tournament, a saga of power, betrayal, and the relentless pursuit of strength. At the heart of this tale lies one of the most iconic figures in fighting games, the man whose iron will and ruthless ambition shaped the very foundation of the Tekken universe. Today we delve into the life and the story of Heihachi Mishima, a man whose life has been defined by power, family, and an unyielding desire to dominate the King of Iron Fist tournament. I'm Arcadenaut here, and today we'll explore the dark and twisted journey of Tekken's central figure, the resurrected Iron Fist of Tekken, Heihachi Mishima. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and join my Discord channel for more content on fighting games and character deep dives. Now, let's jump right into the story of the resurrected Iron Fist.
Heihachi Mishima is completely dead.
Before we dive into Heihachi's role in the Tekken tournaments, we need to start with his origins, his rise to power, and the deep-rooted conflict that shaped him into the man who would go on to control the Mishima Zaibatsu with an iron fist. Heihachi Mishima is the son of Jinpachi Mishima, a martial artist and the founder of a family-run corporation that initially gained wealth through arms dealing during World War II. However, following the war, Jinpachi became disillusioned with the world of weapons and violence. He sought to shift the Mishima Zaibatsu away from arms production, hoping to use his power and influence for more peaceful purposes. However, even in his youth, Heihachi displayed an insatiable hunger for power and control, and unlike his father Jinpachi, who valued honor and justice, Heihachi was far more ruthless. He believed that only those who possessed the true strength were worthy of ruling. Meaning that Jinpachi's pacifist vision conflicted with his son's ambition. From an early age, Heihachi coveted his father's empire. He saw Jinpachi's reluctance to expand the corporation as a weakness, believing that true power came not from peace but from dominance and control. His ambitions crystallized in his 30s when Heihachi staged a coup and seized control of the Mishima Zaibatsu from his father. In this ruthless takeover, Heihachi imprisoned Jinpachi beneath the family temple Honmaru, effectively cutting off his father's influence on the company and the world. However, Heihachi's ascent to power was not without personal cost. His wife, Kazumi Hachijo, who came from a lineage tied to a supernatural force called Devil Gene, pleaded with him to reconsider his dark ambitions. Unknown to Heihachi, Kazumi was sent to Mishima Dojo at a very young age to infiltrate the Mishima family and earn the trust of Heihachi. However, over the years, the two grew close. Initially, the Hachijo clan has existed to keep overambitious people like Heihachi monitored and kill them when deemed too dangerous, leaving Kazumi emotionally conflict. But Heihachi's lust for power had already consumed him. After Heihachi forcibly took over his father's corporation, it became clear to Kazumi that he was indeed walking the dark path her family had predicted. Despite this, Kazumi seems to have resisted her devil form for a long time, but delaying killing Heihachi appears to have given it greater power over her, causing Kazumi to frequently fall ill. Kazumi's increasing illness and her sudden shifts in personality were warning signs that something far more dangerous was at play. When Kazumi revealed her true intentions, that she was sent to stop Heihachi by any means necessary, including killing him, Heihachi was forced to confront her in a deadly duel. In their final confrontation in the family dojo, Kazumi transformed into a demonic form, unleashing her devil powers, claiming she had foreseen Heihachi bringing great darkness to the world. Despite his love for her, Heihachi's survival instincts and desire for power prevailed. Heihachi killed Kazumi, but not before her actions planted the seeds of future chaos. Kazuya, their 5-year-old son, witnessed the murder and of course would never forgive Heihachi for it. Around that time, Heihachi's son Kazuya Mishima challenged his father to fight for his mother's revenge. However, Heihachi had other plans. Kazuya was just a boy when Heihachi made an unthinkable decision. He threw Kazuya off a cliff. According to Heihachi, only a true Mishima could survive such a fall, and if Kazuya were strong enough to climb back, he would prove himself worthy of living. If not, he would die. Considered weak and unworthy by his father. Miraculously, Kazuya survived the fall, but it wasn't just his strength that allowed him to survive. It was hatred. Hatred for his father, which awakened a dark power within him. The same power that Kazuya's mother had, the devil gene. This demonic power kept Kazuya alive and drove him to seek revenge on Heihachi. Now in complete control of the Mishima Zaibatsu, Heihachi wasted no time reshaping the company in his image. He revived its arms manufacturing division and expanded the corporation into a global powerhouse, manipulating governments, influencing wars, and seeking to cement his position as a ruler of the world from the shadows. His involvement in criminal enterprises such as the Big Apple War in New York and his ruthless quest for an ancient pendant showcased Heihachi's willingness to secure power. While Heihachi was focusing on Mishima Zaibatsu's expansion, Kazuya grew older and his hatred for his father only intensified. He nurtured his desire for revenge, all while Heihachi continued to push the Mishima Zaibatsu to new, darker heights. Eventually, Heihachi launched the first King of Iron Fist tournament, an international martial arts competition designed to lure out the world's strongest fighters. However, the tournament had a deeper purpose. Heihachi's way of asserting his dominance over the martial arts world and growing threats to his empire. Kazuya, now a grown man, saw this as his opportunity to confront his father and finally exact his revenge. With years of training and the devil gene empowering him, Kazuya entered the tournament with a singular goal: to defeat and to kill Heihachi. Heihachi quickly dispatched his opponents as the tournament unfolded, climbing to the competition's top. But in the final match, he was met by his son. The battle between Heihachi and Kazuya in the original Tekken is legendary. Two men driven by hatred and twisted bonds of their family, Heihachi, now 52 years old and at the peak of his physical and mental strength, unleashed the full force of his martial arts mastery against Kazuya. However, Kazuya's desire for revenge was stronger. Fueled by Devil Jin's power, he overpowered his father, delivering a brutal and decisive defeat. Kazuya then dragged his father's broken body to the edge of a cliff, the same cliff where he had been thrown as a child. And of course, cast Heihachi over the side. Believing he had finally rid the world of his father's cruelty, Kazuya claimed the Mishima Zaibatsu for himself, turning it into even darker, more violent version of what Heihachi had built. The power of the Devil Gene consumed Kazuya, leading him down a path of global domination. Though defeated and cast into the abyss, Heihachi was not so easily killed. In true Mishima fashion, Heihachi survived the fall. His unyielding will to live and incredible resilience kept him alive. For years, Heihachi remained hidden, recovering from his injuries and biding his time. He trained in the mountains, pushing his body and mind to new limits, preparing for the day he would reclaim what was rightfully his. His only companion during these years of isolation was his pet bear Kuma, whom he trained as a formidable fighter. While Kazuya ruled the Mishima Zaibatsu with an iron fist, Heihachi's absence was felt across the globe. But his return was inevitable. In the shadows, Heihachi honed his skills, waiting for the moment to strike back and retake the Mishima Zaibatsu. With Kazuya now controlling the Mishima Zaibatsu and Heihachi lurking in the background, the stage was set for their inevitable rematch. This clash would define the Mishima family's future and the world's fate. Heihachi had always known his son's hatred for him. Still, now, after being humiliated and nearly killed by Kazuya, it was personal. To reclaim his empire and avenge his loss, Heihachi entered the second King of Iron Fist tournament announced by Kazuya to prove his martial superiority. This tournament wasn't just a battle for control over the Zaibatsu, but a battle for survival. Kazuya, now fully empowered by the devil gene inherited from his mother Kazumi Hachijo, was stronger than ever with demonic powers at his disposal. Despite the odds, Heihachi exploited a critical weakness in Kazuya, an internal moral conflict caused by the devil gene. In a grueling battle between the father and son, Heihachi emerged victorious. Heihachi knew that merely defeating Kazuya wasn't enough. To ensure his son would never rise again, Heihachi took Kazuya's unconscious body to a helicopter and flew to the mouth of an active volcano. In one final act of brutal finality, Heihachi rolled his son's body into the fiery crater, seemingly putting an end to Kazuya once and for all. With Kazuya defeated and presumed dead, Heihachi once again reclaimed the control of Mishima Zaibatsu. And he also banished Li Chaolan, his adopted son, who had sided with Kazuya during the second tournament, ensuring no immediate threats to his power. Heihachi once again stood as the sole head of the Mishima Zaibatsu. Still, the seeds of hatred had already been sown, and the devil gene was far from vanquished. Tekken 3 introduced a new generation of fighters and a new threat to Heihachi's rule. After eliminating Kazuya, Heihachi wasted no time consolidating his rule over the Mishima Zaibatsu. Under his leadership, the Zaibatsu grew even more powerful. One of his first acts was the formation of the Tekken Force, a private army that served as both the Zaibatsu's military might and Heihachi's personal enforcers. Heihachi sought to reshape the Zaibatsu's public image as a benevolent force, using the Tekken Force for humanitarian missions and peacekeeping, all while furthering his own agenda in the shadows. However, Heihachi was not content with mere power and influence, as rumors of a strange entity known as Ogre reached Heihachi's ears. A creature said to possess incredible strength and the ability to absorb the powers of great warriors. Always seeking more power, Heihachi became obsessed with the idea of capturing Ogre and harnessing its abilities for himself. He sent the Tekken Force on a mission to a temple in Mexico to locate an awakened Ogre. Though the Tekken Force succeeded in finding the creature, it wiped out Heihachi's entire team and disappeared into the world. Around 16 years after the events of Tekken 2, a young boy named Jin Kazama appeared before Heihachi, claiming to be the son of Kazuya and Jun Kazama. Jin sought revenge for his mother's death at the hands of a creature that matched Ogre's description. Seeing an opportunity, Heihachi took Jin in, training him in Mishima-style fighting karate and honing his abilities over 4 years. Heihachi's true intention, however, was to use Jin as a bait to draw out Ogre once and for all. When Jin was ready, Heihachi announced the King of Iron Fist Tournament 3, hoping to lure Ogre out of hiding. Ogre appeared at the tournament and Jin defeated the creature. With Ogre's DNA now in his possession, Heihachi believed he was closer to achieving his goal of ultimate power. However, with Ogre defeated and no longer of use to him, Heihachi turned on Jin. Suspecting that Jin had inherited the devil gene from his father and grandmother, Heihachi shot Jin in the head, intending to rid the world of the cursed Mishima bloodline. Like Kazuya before him, Jin's devil gene activated in response to the near-fatal wound, transforming him into Devil Jin. Enraged, Jin attacked Heihachi, defeating him before flying off into the night. Tekken 4 marked a significant turning point in the Mishima saga. 2 years after the events of Tekken 3, Heihachi was still obsessed with unlocking the secrets of the Devil Gene, as he had obtained Ogre's DNA but discovered that it was incompatible with his own genetic structure. Dr. Abel, Heihachi's lead scientist, speculated that if Heihachi had access to genetic material of a human with the Devil Gene, he could create a formula that would grant him control over its power. Heihachi learned that the G Corporation, a biotech firm, had been experimenting with Devil Gene research. Suspecting that G Corporation has Kazuya's body, he ordered a raid with the Tekken force. In a daring raid, Heihachi's Tekken force successfully infiltrated G Corporation and retrieved vital research materials. However, they also discovered something even more shocking. Kazuya Mishima had been revived by G Corporation and coming back to have everything back from Heihachi. With Kazuya alive and Mishima Zaibatsu's enemies growing stronger, Heihachi sought to regain control. For that, he announced the King of Iron Fist Tournament 4 to lure Kazuya and Jin out. Heihachi believed that by capturing both Kazuya and Jin, he could harness the power of the Devil Gene and finally cement his dominance. Kazuya and Jin entered the tournament, but Heihachi did not intend to let them fight each other. Instead, Heihachi manipulated the tournament, kidnapping Jin before the semifinals but defeated by Kazuya in the finals. Heihachi brought Kazuya to Honmaru, the same temple where he had imprisoned his father years earlier. There, Kazuya and Jin were reunited for the first time. However, things quickly took a dark turn. Kazuya's devil side revealed itself, explaining that when Kazuya had been thrown into the volcano, the devil had been split in two. One part of it remaining with Kazuya and the other seeking out Jin, who had inherited it while Jun's pregnancy. Devil Kazuya attempted to extract the other half of the devil from Jin but was unsuccessful. Jin, partially transformed into Devil Jin, fought Kazuya and Heihachi, defeating them both. As he prepared to kill Heihachi, Jin suddenly spared his grandfather as he saw a vision of her mother, and then flying off once again, leaving the defeated Kazuya and Heihachi just before the Honmaru is raided by an army of Jacks.
Heihachi Mishima is dead.
Moments after Jin's departure, a battalion of Jack 4 robots stormed Honmaru, sent by the G Corporation to eliminate Heihachi and Kazuya. Though Heihachi was presumed dead, he miraculously survived once again, blown several miles away by the explosion. He awoke weeks later, disoriented and on the verge of death, but with no memory of what had transpired during the explosion. During his absence, a new figure rose to claim the Mishima Zaibatsu. Jinpachi Mishima, Heihachi's father, who had been resurrected by the demonic forces when the explosion freed him from his prison beneath Honmaru. When Heihachi finally recovered, he learned that Jin Kazama had defeated Jinpachi in the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5 and now controlling the Mishima Zaibatsu. Furious at losing his empire once again, Heihachi gathered his strength, preparing for his next move. Canonically, Heihachi does not participate in King of Iron Fist Tournament 5, still, he is one of the unlockable characters if the players finish the arcade mode with 9 different characters. If you play as Heihachi, we get to see him confronting first the Jack 5, having his revenge for the Honmaru incident, and then challenging Kazuya before he fights against his father. Facing Kazuya about his betrayal before the tournament. If Heihachi defeats Jinpachi and becomes the champion of the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5, we get to see Kazuya, Jin and Jinpachi all chained together on a missile. And Heihachi watching from afar, though this ending seems like one of Heihachi's fantasies that never took place.
20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ignition.
In Tekken 6, the Mishima family's conflict escalated into all-out global warfare. Under Jin Kazama's leadership, the Mishima Zaibatsu declared war on the world, plunging nations into chaos. Meanwhile, Kazuya Mishima, now in control of G Corporation, positioned himself as the world savior, opposing Jin's forces and using the conflict to his advantage. Meanwhile, a new player had emerged in the form of Lars Alexanderson, who led a resistance against both the Mishima Zaibatsu and the G Corporation. Also, trying to regain his lost memories during his travels with Alisa. Heihachi, having regained control of a small fraction of the Tekken force, was determined to reclaim the Mishima Zaibatsu from his grandson. Again, just like in Tekken 5, Heihachi does not have any crucial role in the main narrative of Tekken 6. However, his plans were complicated by the appearance of Lars Alexanderson, a rogue Tekken force captain who turned out to be Heihachi's illegitimate son. Though initially uninterested in Lars, Heihachi was forced to contend with him after Lars shot him in an attempt to thwart his father's plans. As the 6th King of Iron Fist tournament unfolded, the conflicts between Heihachi, Kazuya and Jin intensified. Heihachi once again faced off against his son and grandson. Still, Tekken 6 ultimately focused on Jin's battle with the ancient demon Azazel, as Jin aimed to destroy Azazel, believing that by doing so would rid the world of Devil Jin that cursed the Mishima bloodline. Again, Heihachi's arcade ending provides another one of Heihachi's fantasies, as he releases both Kazuya and Jin to space, making them crash to Earth.
は貴様じゃ和也。じっとせんか。なせ。
The events of Tekken 7 marked the culmination of the Mishima family feud. With Jin out of the picture, Heihachi Ryo asserted his dominance over the Mishima Zaibatsu and announced the King of Iron Fist Tournament 7, aiming to settle the Mishima bloodline conflict once and for all. Heihachi's primary goal was to confront his son Kazuya, putting an end to their long-standing feud. As the world reeled from the devastation caused by the war between the Mishima Zaibatsu and G Corporation, Heihachi took steps to repair the Zaibatsu's image. However, behind the scenes, Heihachi's intentions were anything but peaceful. To sway the public opinion against Kazuya, Heihachi exposed his son's devil gene to the world, using footage to show Kazuya's demonic transformation. This move was part of Heihachi's media campaign to portray himself as the hero fighting against an evil, demonic force. But of course, it was much more than a public relations battle. Heihachi was preparing for the ultimate showdown with Kazuya. During Tekken 7, we also learn about Heihachi's backstory, including his relationship with his wife, Kazumi Hachijo. It is revealed that Kazumi had secretly harbored the devil gene and had been sent by her family to assassinate Heihachi. She believed that Heihachi would one day become a threat to the world, and her mission was to stop him before that happened. However, as I mentioned in the origin story part, their feelings were mutual and genuine at one point. When Kazumi was unable to hold off her devil powers and attacked Heihachi, he was forced to kill her in self-defense. This tragic event set the entire Mishima family feud in motion, as Heihachi saw Kazuya as a product of this cursed bloodline and sought to rid the world of the devil gene by any means necessary. Around that time, we also learn about Kazumi Mishima's friendship with Akuma from Street Fighter, as she gives orders to Akuma, telling him that evil like Heihachi and possibly his son Kazuya must be eliminated at all costs. To fulfill his promise to Kazumi, Akuma first challenges Heihachi to death, believing he killed Heihachi with his attacks. Later on, as Akuma attacked Kazuya, making him reveal his devil form, Heihachi launches a laser attack from one of the satellites of Mishima Zaibatsu, believing he has destroyed both Akuma and Kazuya instantly. However, the climactic moment of Tekken 7 leads to Heihachi and Kazuya finally facing off inside a volcano. A fitting backdrop for the two men whose lives had been defined by fire, power, and betrayal. Heihachi fought with everything he had, unleashing the full power of his years of experience and martial arts mastery, though Kazuya had the devil gene at his disposal. Heihachi was relentless, pushing Kazuya to his limits. The two traded devastating blows, each refusing to give in. Throughout their fight, they revisited their shared history, the betrayals, the abuse, the countless battles that had shaped their relationship. Despite Heihachi's formidable skills, Kazuya's devil power ultimately gave him the edge. Exhausted and injured, Heihachi struggled to keep up with Kazuya's demonic form, and in a brutal and heart-wrenching moment, Kazuya finally gained the upper hand, delivering the killing blow to his father. As Heihachi lay defeated at Kazuya's feet, Kazuya carried his father's body to the edge of the volcano, echoing the same fate Heihachi had dealt to him all those years ago. In the final act of closure, Kazuya threw Heihachi's body into magma below, reciting the words his father had taught him. All that matters is who is left standing, and nothing else.
戦いとは最後にどちらが立っているか、それだけだ。
I have one comment for you. Heihachi Mishima is completely dead. dead.
In the aftermath of the climactic battle between Heihachi and Kazuya Mishima at the end of Tekken 7, the world believed that Heihachi Mishima had perished for good, his body hurled into the molten core of an active volcano by his son, Kazuya. Before Heihachi could succumb to the flames of the volcano, he was actually miraculously saved by Seiryu, the Tekken high priest of the Tekken monks. This ancient and secretive order had long observed the Mishima family's bloodline, Seiryu believing that Heihachi still had a role to play in restoring the purity of the Mishima-style martial arts, brought him to the Tekken monks' temple, where Heihachi began his recovery. However, the once ruthless Heihachi Mishima had lost all memory of his former self. With no recollection of the blood-soaked past or the endless battles for power, Heihachi now lived among the Tekken monks, training to perfect his martial arts with a clear heart and mind. During this time, the monks encouraged him to balance his mind, body and spirit, believing that this would lead Heihachi to master the ultimate technique of the Mishima style, the very pinnacle of his fighting legacy. 6 months passed after Kazuya and Heihachi's clash, and Heihachi's skills had reached new heights. One day, Seiryu discussed with Heihachi the Star Crusher trial, an ancient and legendary test in which a warrior must destroy a meteorite that falls from the sky once every 200 years. The trial was the final step to unlocking the Mishima-style ultimate technique. Seiryu reminded Heihachi that his mind, body and technique must be in perfect harmony to succeed. While Heihachi had doubts about his readiness, he could not deny his progress with the monks. The Tekken High Priest suggests that Heihachi might indeed have the potential to lead the Tekken monks, but only if he could fully rid himself of the darkness that still lingered deep within his mind. Their sparring session was interrupted by the arrival of Lydia Sobieska and Yoshimitsu, who had been invited as the guest of the Tekken monks. Concerned that Heihachi's imbalance might be linked to his lost memories, Lydia asked Seiryu if this could affect his ability to complete the Star Crusher trial. Seiryu acknowledged the possibility but believed that Heihachi still had a chance to succeed. On the night of the trial, Heihachi meditated with Lydia Sobieska and trained under the watchful eyes of Seiryu and Suzaku. He appeared calm and focused, fully prepared to complete the test. As the meteorite fell from the heavens, Heihachi stood ready. Channeling all his powers and training, Heihachi leaped into action, delivering a devastating headbutt that shattered the meteorite. At that moment, as the meteorite exploded around him, Heihachi's memories and old persona came rushing back. The man who had spent months training in peace with the monks was replaced by the Heihachi Mishima of old. The ruthless, power-hungry warlord who had once ruled Mishima Zaibatsu with an iron fist. Imbued with the ultimate technique of the Mishima style, Heihachi's power had grown to the unprecedented levels. But with his memories and personality fully restored, Heihachi quickly turned on the Tekken monks. In a fit of rage and power, he went on a rampage through the temple, defeating scores of Tekken monks, including Seiryu and Suzaku, who trained him. Not even Lydia Sobieska, Eri Gordo and Yoshimitsu could match Heihachi's might. More powerful than ever, Heihachi now set his sights on his true objective, Kazuya Mishima. With the Mishima-style ultimate technique mastered, Heihachi believed that he could finally end the corrupted version of Mishima legacy that Kazuya embodied, and particularly end the power of the Devil Gene. One detail that we learn about Heihachi and Reina is that Heihachi annihilates the whole Hachijo clan right after Kazumi's betrayal, but leaving only a single girl alive, who is most possibly Reina, then teaching her the ways of Mishima karate and planning maybe something more sinister, using Reina's devil gene for his plans in the future. As the resurrected Iron Fist of Tekken is returned, the world will tremble before his might once again. It is only a matter of time before he meets his son and grandson again, and it's totally unknown if he really cares for Reina or if he is using her for his ambitious needs just like he used Jin before. Heihachi Mishima's journey through the Tekken series is one of the most complex and enduring in fighting game history. From his beginnings under the father's tutelage to his rise as the ruthless ruler of Mishima Zaibatsu, Heihachi's life has been defined by power, betrayal, and an unyielding thirst for dominance. His conflicts with Kazuya and Jin have shaped not only his fate but the fate of the entire world of Tekken, whether it was battling his own family, facing off against ancient powers, or striving to unlock the ultimate technique. Heihachi's iron will always keep him standing in the face of overwhelming odds. Now, with his return in Tekken 8, resurrected and more powerful than ever, Heihachi stands once again as the embodiment of relentless ambition and the iron fist that refuses to be broken. As always, thank you for joining me on this deep dive into Heihachi's story. Don't forget to subscribe for more fighting game lore and character breakdowns. And as always, leave a comment below if there is a story you would like to see next. Any humble support through Patreon or YouTube join is really appreciated, and I will see you soon in my next video.